In this lesson, we'll be taking a look at punctuation. Correct use of punctuation can be your key to clear and concise writing. You know, many people look at punctuation, well, kind of like this. But by learning a few simple rules, you can avoid careless mistakes that might confuse readers. First, let's take a look at what our language looked like before punctuation was invented. Once upon a time, there was no punctuation of any kind, and early writing looked like this because the words were written together in a jumble. Now, suppose you wrote your classmates a note that looked like this. They'd think you've gone crazy. That's because the most simple and essential punctuation of all, the space that separates one word from another, was not begun until about 600 AD, and it was not firmly established until about the 11th century. And it wasn't until the 16th century that a regular system of punctuation was worked out. There are many different punctuation marks used in the English language. Each mark has its own meaning and rules for proper usage. We'll take a look at the various uses of the comma for starters. The comma looks like this. It is drawn somewhat like a period with a tail. The comma plays an important role in everyday communication. In general, a comma indicates a pause to separate words, ideas, and phrases. The comma keeps things from becoming confused, as you'll see in our following examples. Here is a sentence which uses the comma correctly. We are going to eat, John, before we go skating. Here is what happens if you leave out the commas. We are going to eat John before we go skating. As you can see, the comma changed the entire meaning of the sentence, just as pauses and variations in the tone of your voice help to convey the meaning of spoken sentences. Commas help to clarify the meaning of written sentences. Now listen to how the narrator's pauses and variation changes the meaning of a sentence while I eat lunch.
Here is our example sentence without any commas. Now I will add a pause to the sentence. When the actress screamed, James Harvey fainted. But if I pause after the name James, the sentence would have this meaning. When the actress screamed James, Harvey fainted.
James!
Now listen to this change. When the actress screamed James Harvey, fainted.
When the actress fainted.
So you see, the same 7-word sentence has a completely different meaning when you change the location of the pause. To make it easier to remember the rules for using the comma correctly, we're going to break them down to 7 easy lessons. Rule number 1. You should use a comma when separating items in a list or series. Here are some example sentences which use commas to separate items in a long list.